manifest your dream life with BaZi? It's possible. I mean, BaZi is not something that you would usually call a woo-woo or magic, because there's no magic really involved. So have you heard about BaZi before? And if you haven't, please don't skip this video. Let me explain it, because this is like the coolest Chinese astrology ever that even the TCM practitioners often use to predict or diagnose health, right? So, but before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Catherine. I'm a pharmacist, yes, a licensed pharmacist, a co-creator in health and wellness, an Etsy shop owner, also a BaZi reader and coach. Now, if you have had BaZi reading before and you got bad experience of it because you think it's too mystical, it's too magical, this prediction makes no sense, because, well, I will tell you that is the norm, but I will also tell you that everything in BaZi actually has its own analysis and reason. And because the reasoning and analysis is quite depth, so sometimes people they cannot find the best way to explain it to you, or to explain things best to you. But in here, we'll make it simple. But first, if you don't know about BaZi, I will just go straight into it. So BaZi is a Chinese astrology that includes your year, your month, your date, and your hour. It is usually also called the 4 pillars of destiny, because that 4 things, the year until the hour, it creates an interaction and synchronicities to your fate. Meaning, there will be some zodiac interactions within natal chart, and some elements interaction. But basically, these 4 pillars that consist 2 characters each pillar, which is at the top we will call it heavenly stems, and the bottom is the earthly branch. Now, earthly branch is usually the zodiac signs. That's why BaZi practitioners will always tell you that you don't have only one zodiac sign, and you cannot figure out your destiny or figure out your fate, your worst year based on your zodiac signs only, because you actually have multiple zodiac signs in each pillar, right? So yeah, I would say that's that. And not many BaZi practitioners will tell you this. I mean, not even in my local community area, but I will just being straight to you that BaZi is actually a psychological tool, like a semi-psychological tool. Of course, it doesn't follow the follow the teachings of modern psychology. It doesn't follow the Carl Jungian archetypes things. Of course, it doesn't. But it has been used since centuries ago, right? Since the Han Dynasty. I mean, I'm not even sure, but it's been used like so long ago. And the BaZi is the basic of all Chinese metaphysics studies, such as Feng Shui or Qimendunjia, if you've heard of it, right? And also, the TCM's 5 element anatomy system. Yeah, it's also like it's the same in BaZi. That is why the TCM practitioners use it for that diagnosis too. Okay, so let's just say that BaZi is quite similar to Western astrology or the human design principle, which is something that we call like just to predict rather than forecast, because predict and forecast can be quite different things, right? I mean, forecast, usually it is consists a bit of magic, right? Right, in tarot, where you are calling the spirit guides or the ancestors to assist you in reading the future, or it's also just like the shamanism practice that just see through your future, something like that, right? That is forecast. But prediction, it's quite the similar principle as Western astrology or human design. So if we are well known in both of these things, I'm sure that you will actually quite be interested in BaZi as well. I mean, one of my clients is actually one of them is actually an astrologer, and one of them is actually a human design practitioner. So yeah, you will be quite excited if you have known these two things, right? Because the principle is the same. It's just to know your personality, human personality in general. Of course, there is a certain in-depth reading about your relationship with your family, or if there is any bad things or bad experience that will or may happen in your life, or something that people on the internet always call class, and class is a bad thing, but we will talk it at the later video. But in this video, I'm just want to concentrate this on using BaZi as a manifesting tool to manifest your best dream life ever, right? So in Chinese astrology, we know elements as fire, water, wood, metal, and earth. So there is 5 elements instead of 4 elements in Western astrology, right? And to be honest, if you have ever got both of those things together, you would see that there is actually some correlation and coincidental things that will relate, or will coincide, and you will know, so this is the similar things between human design and BaZi, for example. But in BaZi, and especially if you are having a reading with me, I will try to explain to you in depth about why these things happens, and actually what are these things represents, and why is it why is the interaction cause this a good thing or bad thing, something like that. Yeah, so BaZi is not a mystical thing. And just a side note, clash is not something to be afraid of. Clash is not always a bad thing, especially if your life is not in a good shape already. And clash just means a change. So a change can be good, can be not. only if you know that and anticipate it with plans and actions, right? So, okay. In regards to BaZi, I would say it's these two things that differentiate from other Chinese other astrology study. The first thing is about karma. Yeah, I know this sounds a little bit of woo-woo, a little bit of strange, and some people don't believe in it. But if you believe in it, please continue. Now, this karma thing is usually found out in the zodiac signs in your natal chart, right? And most people, when they talk about karma, they would say like past life things or this mysterious bad thing that my ancestors has did that makes me the black sheep of it. And I want to say to you that is totally wrong, because even right now, right here in this moment, you can actually develop karma yourself. So karma is essentially this thing that it's been created on our mind, and it's usually the bad thoughts, the bad scenarios in our mind that plays again and again. And if you have been in manifestation, you know that our thoughts are so important to create our reality, right? So that's that. And in BaZi, of course, we can catch that what kind of bad thoughts that you are usually having, and you might not realize it consciously, right? So yeah, in BaZi we can catch that, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is correlated to the first thing, which is I won't say it's about the class things anymore, but the hidden, this is what we call the hidden stump. Now the hidden stump is the thing below the earthly branch. So the pillar the pillar mainly consists of heavenly stem, which is environment energy, earthly branch, which is the zodiac signs, and hidden stem. Now in my era, which is around 20 years ago, I think, yeah, so in my era, when I get my first BaZi reading, when I was a baby, from someone I don't even remember what they look like, they usually don't consider hidden stumps, or they don't even write hidden stumps in my BaZi chart report. Now, how crazy is that? But that is also one of the important things that you can do about it. Because it's hidden doesn't mean it is not exist. It just means that it is your hidden nature, your hidden personality, your hidden things. And knowing these hidden things consciously is far more easier and far more quicker than spending years on journaling meditations. I mean, who doesn't like a shortcut in the first place, right? Who doesn't like the fast and instant way to get into their subconscious mind without the hypnosis or the journaling, or going back and forth in Reiki and meditations and some of the things, right? And this is exactly the two quality things that separates BaZi from other astrology study or human design study. And these two things can actually hinder our manifestation, right? I mean, just to think about it, first we talk about karma, which is not only just these past things, bad things, but also our thoughts can create karma. And the second thing is, well, the hidden personality, the hidden nature, the things that you don't even want to know, or you don't realize you have because it's hidden. Maybe someone else has seen it, but they didn't tell you. Maybe they see it and they have told you before, but you ignored them and you just like, oh my god, that's not me. Right? So I would say that's that. And if you are interested in knowing your partner chart, if you are interested in knowing about your karma, your cycles, your element interactions, and more of that stuff, I recently opened a 3-month coaching programs that combines both BaZi and oracle or tarot reading. Now, hold your horses before you just think, oh my god, what the hell is she talking about? Now I want to tell you something, and this is raw honest truth that not many practitioners will tell you. Okay, now BaZi has its own strength, and there's definitely no mystical things behind BaZi. Okay, but the only weakness that no one told you is that BaZi is super let's call it super dependent on what you do, okay, on what you did or on your actions. Okay, so for example, because we just said BaZi is heavily depending on your personality, on your thoughts or behaviors, your personality. So if you change some of that, one of that, of course it will also change. I mean, the energy itself won't just mystically change just like that, but if you're aware of it and if you can make the best use of it, things will change for you. So from this, I have seen myself quantum jump through understanding my own partner chart, like quantum jump timeline. And I also recognize some of my clients that may actually define their destiny. Well, yeah, I would just say define their destiny, and yeah, from there they can quantum jump things, making changes to those things, making bad things or bad classes as good opportunities, right? I mean, because that's what it is. You cannot change the energy, but you can change how you react to it. You cannot change how others feel you, but you can change from yourself. Change start within. Agree or not? Okay, so this is what most of the BaZi practitioners won't tell you, but here I'm going to tell you, and this is exactly why you can even start journaling with the weakness in your partner chart. If you just plot it out or write it out, and And the reason why I combine oracle or tarot reading with BaZi reading is because, just to be honest, because things can change. Oracle and the tarot reading serves as guidance from spirit guides and from your guardian angels, of course, or whoever it is that you believe is guarding your 3D journey every step of the way. And since things change, sometimes we get confused. I mean, who doesn't? In this human experience, we get confused, and sometimes when we make big changes, we just don't know what to do. And because things just change like that, I combine oracle and or tarot reading just as a sort of optional guidance and things that maybe you should look forward to. And surprisingly, I have used this with a few of my clients, and I'm just so mind blown on how my oracle reading and the BaZi reading can coincide all at once. Even with different decks, even with different people, different situations. But that's that. That is exactly why I use oracle and tarot reading, because BaZi can answer everything, especially if you are in online business. They cannot be your kind of business coach, but your spirit guides might present might be a little bit stepping up as a semi business coach, because they just know what's best for you and what to do to move forward, right? So I would say that's that. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos for anyone that will benefit from these explanations. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye. My link for the coaching program would be in the description program down below if you're interested. Thanks.